Just let me know when you're recording. Okay. Hello. Welcome to part 4 of the CD tier list. This is where everything has been so far in the last review. And now time for the next 10. So this is Loud by Los 3 Diners. I picked this up at a Goodwill for about 99 cents. I have no idea who these people are, but the album cover really caught my attention, so I bought it. And I probably shouldn't have bought it at all. I don't like it. It's like bar music. It's like this is what I imagine if you walked into a bar and people were drinking and playing pool. This is what would be playing, which is, if you're into that, that's cool, but it really didn't strike me as anything too fancy. This is a D tier. This is Mexican Invasion by Cali Lifestyle. So Mexican Invasion is a hip-hop album released by Cali Lifestyle in 1998. The album features 10 tracks, and the overall style of the album is a mix of classic West Coast hip-hop and Latin music. One of the highlights of the album is the production, and the beats are also well-crafted and well-produced. The use of Latin instruments and samples adds a unique touch to the production, making it stand out from other hip-hop albums. And the rapping on the album is pretty solid, and there's pretty good flow on here. Lyrics tackle various topics, including the struggles of being an immigrant in America, street life, and the importance of family and community. However, some people could say that, there's a little bit too much of a gimmick going on, and some of the rhymes are a bit corny, I should say. Overall, it's a great track, and I think everyone should give it a listen. A tier. This is American Psycho by Misfits. Graves' debut album, American Psycho, is a great continuation of the legacy left by Glenn Danzig. Carrying through familiar yet unique melodic riffs and horror themes, this record holds some of the Misfits' most iconic work. Some may prefer Danzig's simpler era of the Misfits, but this album brings a new welcome life to their group. One of the standout tracks on the album is Dig Up Her Bones, which is a great song that really encompasses what the Misfits were at the time. At least for this era, with Graves on the vocals. The album is known for its horror-themed lyrics and its punk rock sound, and it's a really good thing that many people can relate to. I like American Psycho, and then the Misfits are pretty good, but there were some better things that were followed up by this album. B tier. This is Food by MF Doom. And let me just go off by saying this is undoubtedly the best MF Doom album, hands down. From the opening track of Beef Rap to the ending track of Cookies, everything about this is just great. It's the best MF Doom album. The album is a masterpiece of production, with Doom's signature style of dusty, sample-based production creating a unique and captivating atmosphere. The tracks flow seamlessly into one another, creating a cohesive listening experience for those who enjoy Doom. Doom's lyrical prowess is on full display throughout the album, with complex rhymes and intricate wordplay that rewards the listeners for just giving their time to this album. The album covers topics ranging from the struggles of being an independent artist to the dangers that one might face when trying to go through the fast food industry. Overall, Food is a must-listen for any hip-hop fan, and Doom's unique style and creative approach to the concept of food makes a truly memorable experience for those who listen to it. Probably his most popular song, in my opinion, Rap Snitches Knishes, is on here. If you've heard of it, I think you would recognize it immediately because of that guitar riff, which is actually sampled from another song. I can't remember what the song's name is, but that opening guitar riff is sampled, and it's that's like, how did he find this? And how do you turn it into this masterpiece of a song? MF Doom would follow this up with more great tracks, and then eventually lead into his Vic Vaughn alter ego, as well as King Ghidorah. But Food definitely gets an S tier for me. This is Never Change by SPM. SPM, or also known as South Park Mexican, was a rapper who was here in the Houston rap scene, and many people liked him for his style of rap and his kind of I want to say down to earth, but it was more like this is a day-to-day life for people who lived on that side of town during the time. Most controversially, though, SPM would be arrested, and I think he still is in jail for being a pedophile. So that's something. But if we're separating the artist from his art, the SPM this track at least, it's not bad. Some tracks on the album, like I Must Be High, Bloody War, and Mexican Radio, are really good songs for what they are. If you're a fan of SPM, I think they're not bad, but it's not like these are just mind blowing out of the water. For me, Never Change gets a C tier. This is Straight Outta Compton by NWA. I unfortunately don't have this album at the moment because it's in my buddy's Christian's car. I think more specifically it's in his glove compartment. I think it's still there. I'm not sure. Released in 1988, Straight Outta Compton is widely regarded as a really groundbreaking and influential album in the history of rap. The album reflects on the harsh realities of life in inner city streets of Compton, California, addressing issues such as police brutality, gang violence, and racial inequality. NWA's aggressive and unapologetic lyrics are something that was really ear-catching for listeners at the time. Combined with the raw and edgy production, it created a whole new sound that was both exciting and controversial. Overall, Straight Outta Compton is a seminal work of hip-hop music that everyone should listen to, as this is something that was groundbreaking at the time. I should have ranked this higher than where it is, as I do believe it gets an S tier, even an A tier, but for some reason I gave it a B. So, Straight Outta Compton gets a B tier. This is Paranoid by Black Sabbath. This album is considered to be a landmark in heavy metal music and is widely regarded as one of the greatest albums of all time. The album opens with the iconic track War Pigs and its, groundbreaking opening riff that just entrances you and really stops to make you think, like, what have I just entered into? The title track Paranoid is perhaps the band's most recognizable song with its catchy guitar riff and memorable chorus. Other standout tracks on the album feature Iron Man, Electric Funeral, and Rat Salad. Overall, Paranoid is a classic album that helped define the sound of heavy metal music at the time. The band's powerful guitar riffs, thundering drums, and dark and ominous lyrics makes it for an all-time listen. If you're a fan of heavy metal or rock music and haven't given this album a listen, give it a shot. This is an A tier. This is Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Released in 1984, Ride the Lightning would be the follow-up for Metallica's debut album, Kill 'Em All, and Ride the Lightning would forever be remembered as one of Metallica's all-time greats. The album features 8 tracks that showcase the band's musical prowess and songwriting skills, with the opening track, Fight Fire with Fire, sets the tone for the album and, lays the groundwork for everything that follows afterwards. Other tracks on the album that are most recognizable by fans are Ride the Lightning, Fade to Black, and my favorite track on the album, Creeping Death. Ride the Lightning marks a significant change from what Metallica were doing from their debut album, Kill 'Em All, with more complex song structures, tighter musicianship, and greater emphasis on melody. Overall, I believe that Ride the Lightning is a must-listen for anyone who is either a rock fan, a metalhead, or just, someone who really likes music. S tier. So this is Salad Days by Mac DeMarco. The third studio album in Mac DeMarco's discography, Salad Days would be probably his best work, I believe. With 11 tracks and a runtime of about 36 minutes, Salad Days has something for just about everybody. Arguably his most popular song, Chamber of Reflection, makes its time on this album. And Chamber of Reflection is a really good song. There's also some great tracks such as Let Her Go, Salad Day, Blue Boys. Hell, just about every song on this album is pretty good. The album's themes revolve around change, growing up, and finding one's place in the world. Salad Days received positive reviews from music critics, with many praising DeMarco's songwriting and his ability to create a cohesive sound throughout the album. The album was also a commercial success, selling multiple thousands, hundreds of thousands of copies, worldwide, in the US and in Europe and the UK, everywhere. This was a great album that everyone bought. Overall, Salad Days is a well-crafted album that really demonstrates Mac DeMarco's songwriting and his musical prowess. This is definitely a must-listen album, and just give it a listen if you've got time on your hands. Salad Days gets an A tier. All right, so now we're on to the last album, and unfortunately, I couldn't find it. I have it. I know I have this album because I remembered I picked it up, I bought it at Barnes & Noble, and I thought, this is so funny that I bought this album because this album is trash. But anyway, this is Awake by Skillet. So, if you don't know, Skillet is a Christian rock band. It's Christian rock. I don't like Christian rock. It's not like I have anything against it. I'm just not the biggest fan. However, 2 songs on this album, 2 are pretty good. Or at least At least one of them is pretty good. The other one is very well known. You've got their hit track Monster. It did numbers on the Billboard charts, and that was pretty good. However, another song in this album, Awake and Alive, now that song is pretty good. I'll give it that. But other than that, it's just your typical standard Christian rock. You know, just trying to implement ideas of, you know, Christianity and, you know, Jesus is good, which is, you know, if that's what they were going for, great. But that's, you know, it's not a big fan of Christian rock. Sorry. But, you know, if you're into Christian rock or rock at all, give it a listen, I guess. You know, I didn't like it, but I bought it, so, you know. Oops. Awake gets a D tier. And that's part 4. There's going to be one more part after this, which goes over the last CDs I haven't done yet. And I'm also thinking about, you know, also adding the CDs that I bought in the time of me doing this to finishing it. I'm also adding the CDs into the tier list as of it. I'll probably do that as well, but, you know, I got to go through and edit all this. So, you know, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.